If you want more FIFA content from me, I'm now uploading exclusive videos to Patreon. The link for that is down below. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com. And of course, you can use the code TVM at checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video. I was looking around the club and I was trying to find a player to do a video on, and I thought, I haven't tried Thierry yet, so I've got 7 games with him. Let's give him a go. Now, I do like to keep 1 or 2 games on my loans just in case there is a requirement for an objective. You know, score with a Frenchman or score with a French icon in this, that or the other. And also, if you keep 1 game on them, you can use them in friendlies for the rest of the game, because obviously friendlies don't take off contracts, which is nice. I've played with him a couple of times in friendlies, but I've not really used him in a competitive sense. So took him into rivals for 5 games, and as you can probably tell by the title, this guy is a bit of alright. Now, I didn't actually notice that I didn't put a chem cell on him at all the entire time. So when I was reviewing him, for some reason I completely forgot that he didn't have a chem style, and I was playing with him on a basic. Now, I only noticed that right at the end, when I was recording this screen. I was like, hang on a minute, I didn't put a chem cell on him. Oh, damn, do I put a chem cell on him and play with him for 1 game and just see if it makes a difference? Nah, don't worry about it, because if this guy is as good as I'm about to tell you he is without a chem style, can you imagine how good he is with a chem style? So just bear that in mind throughout the entire video. I had a basic chem style on him. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't get boosts, because he does, obviously. He gets 5 in sprint speed, takes it up to 99. He'll get 5 in dribbling, ball control, agility, which is going to take those up into the mid to high 90s. He gets 5 on defense, like across the board, more or less, like defense for win, a stand tackle, slide tackle. Completely irrelevant, not necessary, but still. You get 5 strength, 5 jumping, not that again that had any relevance to me because we're not going to cross the ball. 5 shot power, 5 positioning, volleys and penalties, and then 5 short passing, vision, long passing and curve. Now, the short passing and vision probably helped him a little bit. He did play as a striker. I didn't play him as a winger or cam or whatever it may be. He was almost a lone striker at times, because I can't remember who I played next to him. Ryan Kent for quite a while was, the 84. He was next to him for a while, maybe 2 or 3 games. And then the other striker that was next to him, I'm struggling to remember who it was. Moalida, maybe. Him and Florian Thauvin. Actually, Moalida, Florian Thauvin and Thierry Henry were the front 3 for about 2 or 3 games, and then the other 2 or 3 games, Ryan Kent and Riquelme, the moments Riquelme came into the picture as well. He is a very fun player, but Thierry Henry's ability is unreal. I mean, obviously this is the prime, this isn't the moments. The moments is 2 above this again, that's 95 rated, and with some significant boosts across the board, incidentally. I've got that in front of me right now. The moments is 2 better in pace, 4 in shooting, 3 in passing, 6 in dribbling, 1 defending, and 2 physical better than the prime. So that gives you some indication. If I think this card is that good, can you imagine how good that moments card is? Now, unfortunately, I don't have a loan of the moments. I can't remember why I've got a loan of Thierry Henry in the first place. Was it something to do with objectives? Was there like a French objective that they gave you a loan for? That tends to happen with all these icons that I managed to pick up through loans. I think a lot of you will probably have had access to this card at some point, whether you've used it or not. I don't know. Maybe you've got it in the club and you're like me, you just don't use them that often until one day you're really bored and you decide to break it out. If that is the case, then this review could sway you to maybe bring it into FUT Champs or even just use it in Rivals, because he is absolutely insane. Like, I had a lot of fun playing with this card. Like, I've got a pretty decent team built around him. Of course, this was the Florian Thauvin and who else did I say? Thauvin, Aouar was in there, and there was a couple of other players that I'm forgetting as well. But that was, the team was very similar, but in general, I had a pretty decent team around him. And then when I switched, because I wanted to get Riquelme in there, and I thought, you know what, I can now use Ryan Kent, because I do like that card, but I can never really use him. Bring McGeady off the bench, because he's a lot of fun to use as well. And Thierry Henry involved in the build-up to that goal. But there's a lot of players in this team that I like a Marvy and such. But Thierry Henry sort of just, I don't know, he was like the icing on the cake, if you will. He really should have done better there. That was my fault. But I think he makes up for it now in a second, where he breaks past the defender here, juggles it, and then gets in the area and scores. But some of the goals he was putting in were just fantastic. And like I use a lot of cards, but this was one of the ones where I thought, right, well, every time I give him the ball, I'm going to score. I know I have the ability here. I know I've got a card that is so good on the ball. I'm going to put this in the back of the net time and time again. The unfortunate thing about the card, and we might as well talk about it now, is of course that it's just ridiculously expensive. He is going to run you nearly 2 million coins. He's 1.9 on Xbox, 2.1 on PlayStation and PC. So if you want this guy, you're going to have to, well, I mean, unless you're mega rich already, if you want him, you're going to have to save. And that is something that I know a lot of us can't do. If EA release a semi-good SBC, all of us at once flock to do it just because it's what we do, you know. Any semi-decent SBC, we're all over it because we are content whores, essentially. The clips are going to continue for quite a while here. I've got a lot of goals with Thierry Henry, a lot of moments worth sharing. I discovered, and I did mention it in the Aaron Ramsey review, not discovered necessarily, that's the wrong saying, but I started using an awful lot of the, that's a great goal, an awful lot of the sort of L1, LB control. I don't really need to learn what that's called, because I've started doing it, like I used to do it a lot in FIFA 19, I used it a fair bit, and this FIFA I use it now and again, but I just forget it exists, you know? So I'm holding it down, and obviously this is the moment. You're holding it down and you can do this. It's very close control with the ball. You can't move necessarily that quick, but because you've got a player with really good agility, not great balance, we'll talk about that, but really good agility, ball control, dribbling ability as well. If you use L1 or LB to have that close control, you can change direction really quickly, and if you incorporate the sprint speed in there as well, so if you let it go and then instantly put down the sprint speed, you will have a little boost off, and of course because he's got such high acceleration and sprint speed, you can get a really nice pace boost off that. And the other thing, of course, is you can just side to side really, really quickly and change direction very, very quickly. You can incorporate the ball roll into it as well, the drag back even. There's an awful lot you can do with it. And I think that's probably what pros do, but I'm only now coming accustomed to doing those sort of things. That's probably my favourite goal because it was 100% intended, and I don't do intended things that look good very often. That little fake and then the dink over the keeper, I went a little bit wide and maybe I should have tried to play it back across goal, but I thought, you know, I'm just going to go for it and see what happens, and it ended up in the back of the net. For the sheer amount of praise I've given him, why have I only given him an overall rating of 91? A lot of you may be asking. Well, if you look up into the top right, you can see that this is a Class 1 review. We don't do these very often. They are reserved for the top 10%. So we're talking Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, and icons in general. Thierry Henry is 100% in that top class. He is fantastic, and yes, he is meta as well. Now, his balance on paper lets him down, and I have put it down there as a con, even though I don't really see it as that much of a con. So what happens is that he does have 88 strength with a chem style, so it's kind of swings and roundabouts as to whether he'll get pushed off the ball or not. Sometimes he's fine, and other times he will fall over. So there was an instance, and I probably should have put it in actually, he was through on goal, the ball was played over the top, he was up against a defender, he was basically through, and he gets a little knock, and he goes over, and he just completely just slides about half a mile, but he's on the floor, and he takes a little while to get up, because he's got that sort of, oh, I'm injured, but I'm not really, and that's something you have to sort of just get along with. I mean, half the time it won't be a problem, you can just strengthen your way out of things, but there definitely was an issue there. Now, with that being said, I love this card. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The price is definitely an off-put, and that's why I've put it down. Value for coins is 80, because, I mean, 2 million coins is an unbelievable amount. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, good value. He is one of the best cards I've used, sure. But that doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you could stick any price tag on him and I think it's value for coins. I think 2 million coins is more than most casual players and more than most people in general will see in their game span, if you will. So if you play this game from start to finish and you're putting a reasonable amount of hours in, 2 million coins for you just playing the game and not going out of your way to try and trade and do bronze pack method and league SBC and all the things that you don't necessarily associate with a casual player. 2 million coins is a lot. So I don't think it's value for coins necessarily. It's not bad, but it's not great by any stretch. I had a lot of fun with him, and I do think he's a very, very good card. But that price is a little bit off-putting for me. If you manage to pack him, any version really, but if you do manage to pack him in a pack, or in one of like the SBC packs or something like that, you know, like the icon swap packs, then of course you've got yourself an absolute banger. And get him on the pitch as soon as you can, because this guy injects fun back into the game. Let me know what card you want me to do a video on next. I'll try and do a few more FUT birthday cards, but a lot of them now are starting to creep up in price, especially the high-end ones, so it's just a case of money at the end of the day. But let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.